Hello and welcome to your first time doing Fire over Morgrave. This raid is not that complicated, but it has a lot of pieces, and we're going to go through each piece right now. So if you've never done it, this will be a full guide. This is not the first thing you need to know, but I can't show it later. Right here at the bottom, if you come downstairs, there's a little altar. This is the esoteric table, and this is where you upgrade the weapons from the raid. So all the raid weapons can be upgraded. A lot of people don't know where this is. So if you want to upgrade your raid weapons after you get them, this is where you do it, this little table right here. I just thought I would include that right at the beginning. Okay, so talking to Capri Stormleaf will lock the raid and prevent people from being able to join. So once you're sure everyone's inside, you want to talk to her to get the raid started, and they'll start all the dialogue and what have you. At which point you'll be given the instruction to approach the tear. Once you approach the tear, at some point, it takes a second to kind of load. The dialogue has to finish. Approach the tear. Approach the tear. Hello? There we go. Once you approach the tear enough, Vecna is going to spawn in, and he's going to summon the boss, who is a huge Baylor. Now, the Baylor has a few mechanics that you need to know of, and a few attacks that you need to know of. And I'll explain those when he spawns in. I'll hit the tank stuff first. If you are tanking the Baylor, you need to make sure the Baylor is always facing away from the party, because the Baylor deals a bunch of frontal cleave damage. Its attacks hit everyone in front of him, so you need to face him away. Additionally, the Baylor will hit you and cause a debuff onto you that will increase the amount of damage that you take from all of his attacks with a fire whip, this fire whip to be precise. So the longer you tank him, the more damage you're going to take, which is why you want to do this raid relatively quickly. Additionally, he has a lightning line attack where he's going to draw a line on the ground. It's in blue. You want to get out of that line, or else you're going to take a huge amount of damage. It will kill you very quickly, even on a tank. And finally, he doesn't like it when you block him. So you want to try not to block him when given the opportunity. You want to, make sure you're actually actively combating. When you block him, he will knock you down and knock you back, and he can knock you off the ledge. Alright, start fighting the Baylor. If you're a DPS, you don't want to fight in front of the Baylor. You want to fight behind the Baylor. So always fight behind the Baylor. Now, if you're a DPS, are you just going to be hitting the boss the entire time? And the answer is no. This fight has lots of ads. I'm going to leave me one ad, please. The Varrock Doom Dancers here are going to Doom Dance. This monster right here is doing this dance. They cannot be instant killed, and so you have to... no one left me an ad. They cannot be instant killed, and they deal damage to the entire raid. Okay? Oh, that hurt. They deal damage to the entire raid. You need to make sure that you are killing them as fast as possible. They're going to spawn throughout the entire fight, all around this platform. They're also going to spawn around this platform, and they're also going to spawn around that platform. To find out where they are, you're going to see them as little red dots on the map. They have a resistance to ranged attacks, so if you are out of range, you can't use ranged abilities on them until someone's in melee with them. They have a deflection bonus. So if you try to pew them down, you got to have someone melee standing next to them. Now, once the Baylor takes enough damage, he's going to phase and move over here. This is phase 2. And you can see this fire ring. This is a line of sight ring. You can't attack through the ring. So you have to move through this to then fight the Baylor to deal damage to it, as well as to heal. Now, you might be wondering why that's relevant. The reason why this fire line exists is because ads are going to continue to spawn. See how there's a dot here? A Doom Dancer has already spawned. And so if you want to go get it, you have to have somebody come out and go kill it on this edge. What this means is you will be splitting up the party. So when you're running this raid, you will need to have specific people moving and killing all of the Vrocks and making sure they stay dead. Too many Vrocks and people are taking too much damage. They're like Fear Reapers that hit the entire raid group. So you need to make sure you have people whose job it is to go around and clean these up. Now, they're not the only ads that spawn into this raid. You have also these red portals. These red portals will spawn dretches out of them. There's a right here, conveniently. The dretches, when they die, explode with this large explosion you can see on the ground. They can be instant killed on all difficulties. So if you're an instant killer, you can camp these portals and instantly kill them when you see them. And if you're a melee or ranged character, you can just melee them down or range them down. The thing is, they have a lot of hit points, so instant killing them is way more efficient than anything else. Now let's talk Baylor. I missed out on a couple of mechanics that you have to deal with on this guy. The first is he just used both of his attacks. So that big whip attack where he spins in a circle, everyone gets hit by that. He's got a lot of fire damage, a lot of lightning damage. It's dangerous, a lot of evil damage. So you're going to be taking a lot of hits. So if you're close to him, you're going to be taking damage. The second ability is when he jumps up in the air and he slams on the ground. You've probably seen that a couple times. To avoid that, what you do is you jump over it. So he'll slam and you just kind of jump. So you got to jump over top of it. Now, another thing is you can see him charging. He's standing here charging like this. This is because nobody is tanking him. When he does that, he's going to cause the Storm Call, which will deal a bunch of damage to everyone in the raid, and also make it so that while you're, you take more lightning damage on top of that. So every time he hits you, he's going to do more and more lightning damage on top of that every single time. There's this big lightning attack. If you're a tank, you got to dodge that. Now, I don't know if we're going to get it. Let's slow DPS for a little bit. I just need to make sure we see the enrage phase. Actually, we have to get rid of the circle. So DPS until we get rid of the circle, and then stop. After he takes enough damage, this fire circle will go away. And so I just want to show one of the later sections. He's going to ignite himself and go basically immune to damage, and I want to showcase what you have to do. It involves these Resia orbs. You also notice that I have the Balor Fire. This is an effect you get for dealing damage to the Balor, or being near him when he AoEs you. Okay, stop attacking the Balor, please. No attack Balor. Just go clear ads if you don't know what to do. What was I saying? This fire damage over time effect, it deals damage to you. To remove this effect, you have to find a Resia Ice Orb, like this one here, and you have to get next to it and then blow it up. It'll remove the debuff off of you. Alright, so now he's on fire. This is the part I was hoping for. Now that he's on fire, he's basically immune to damage. So what the tank's job is to... Whoop. Not that one. You don't jump that one. Whoopsie. What the tank's job is to move the boss next to an ice orb and explode it to cool him off. You'll notice that the Balor is not following the tank. So what you have to do as tank is move beyond his reach. So you basically have to move beyond this ice orb. He doesn't want to melee, he wants to use the whip more often. So you want to get behind it, so somewhere preferably like just to the other side of it. And then he will move into the ice orb, and then we hit the orb, it explodes, and it cools him down. This part is what kills people the most. So now we hit him, boom. Now he's no longer on fire. While he's enraged, he does tremendous damage. He takes no damage. So you can kill the boss now. While he's enraged, he takes tremendous damage. He takes no damage. So what you want to do is you need to make sure you get that off him as quick as possible. It's one of the most important things. So as a result, if you have this Balor Fire and you want to remove it, try not to use the Resia Ice Orbs that are right next to the boss. Try to pick one that's a little bit farther away, break that, and then come back to the actual boss fight. Jump. See that? See that jump? You got to jump that slam or else you take the damage. That whip attack, you don't jump, you just get hit by it. You're going to take the damage every time. Also, we have so many Doom Dancers up. No one's killing yet. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't assign anything. If you're going to run this raid yourself, I would highly recommend you assign people to different roles. Assign a couple people to dealing with ads, specifically the Doom Dancers. Ideally a melee character, if you can. Get a melee or two to run around and take care of a lot of the ads that are around here and kill them sooner rather than later. Because if you get overwhelmed by Doom Dancers, you're going to lose. On normal difficulty, we're not taking a whole lot of damage, but on hard mode, the things that kill people the most is one, they can't get the enrage off of the Balor, and two, the Doom Dancers stack up and they start killing everyone. So those are your big killers. Oh, also the slam. When he jumps up in the air and slams the ground, on hard and higher, it just kind of kills you. So people not jumping that is a problem. This is the final phase where you just have to kill him quickly, so you have to push him off before he explodes. I've never seen it explode, and I don't know what happens. So you just kind of hit the boss. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about the raid. So, in summary, if you happen to be a DPS character, you're going to hit the Balor, and then when the ads spawn, you're going to kill the ads that appear. You want to assign 2 people in your raid, generally 2 ad clear for the whole raid. Ideally melees, and if you can have a spellcaster with instant kills, like a sorcerer or a necromancer or something, who can kill the dretches when they spawn from the portals, that's also good too, so you want to take care of that when you can. Remember that you can't heal through the fire rings, so you got to move through it, and your tank needs to stay on the Balor pretty much all the time. You don't want them to get away. If they are not with the Balor when it's in the fire rings, it's going to deal damage to everybody. When the Balor enrages, although, by the way, how that works is it's a timing thing. So that's why I said wait and stop. The Balor can rage at any time. It's just a duration. You can only use it after so many seconds have passed within the raid, and so that's why I had people wait for the enrage to happen. It's not like a special mechanic, like it has to happen at a certain time. If you do this raid fast enough, you will never even see the enrage. And I think on normal difficulty, a lot of people probably won't see it, because if I didn't tell people to stop, we would have just killed it really fast. So that was good. So you got to see the enrage. When he's enraged, he stops taking damage, so the tank has to slowly walk him back and get him to one of these orbs. And as I said, let's pretend that the Balor is over here and you're tanking. You want to walk back to the orb, and then you don't want to step next to the orb. Try to come back to like here or so that if he's whipping you, he's going to go here. If he's mailing you, he's going to go here. So that way he's always next to the orb. So you don't want to stand next to it, you want to move back a bit. And then once the Balor is actually next to the orb, that's when the DPS, they go boom, 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 they blow it up, and then you can start hitting the Balor once again. If you're a DPS and you have those fire damage stacks, you want to be removing it from yourself whenever you get the opportunity, because that's very good. And then finally, like I said, the tank mechanic, never face the Balor towards the boss. If you're a DPS, don't go in front of the boss. It's just going to kill you really fast. And also as a DPS, as a tank, you really got to dodge that lightning line. I've seen a lot of tanks like get frazzled and they think they can tank it. They get hit by it and they basically die instantaneously. It's kind of interesting to watch tanks die in one hit on Reaper to a boss mechanic. So it's really, really hard. It does a lot of damage. So dodge that. And if you do all of that, I know it sounds like a lot because I just explained it, but like I said, when you break it down, if your job is not to kill ads, I mean, in the first phase, everyone's going to kill them, but if you're not one of the people assigned to ad duty, you literally just hit the boss the entire time, jump when he jumps, and that's about it. You just hit the boss. It's pretty straightforward. If you are on ad duty, you can do damage to the boss when you can, but for the most part, you're just going to be watching the map, looking for red dots to appear, and going and blowing them up, and dealing with wretches when they come in. If you're on tank, just turn the boss away from people and don't get killed. Straight and forward as that, and move the boss a little bit. And if you're a healer, it's a little bit more difficult. I would say you kind of got to stay near the party, so you want to stay near the group. And if you're somebody who's on ad clear, if you need healing, go back to the group or have some sort of self-healing yourself that will keep you alive. And that's pretty much all you need to know. That's the whole raid. Fire over Morgrave. It's straightforward. There's not a lot of steps going on here, and you'll get it soon. But hopefully this will help some people kind of get through and learn how to do their raid their own on the first few times. Like I said, on normal difficulty, you can also just DPS race it. Just get a bunch of DPS, a healer, and kind of hit the boss, and having maybe one person clearing ads, and you're fine. But on hard mode, you do have to clear ads. On hard mode, you do have to have a tank. On hard mode, you do have to have somebody pulling the boss and getting rid of his buff. So just keep that in mind. And then, of course, on elite difficulty, you have to do all of the mechanics, because if you don't, you're going to get overwhelmed very, very quickly. So yeah, happy raiding, get some gear, and good luck out there, everybody.